Well, it is no secret that small businesses have been struggling through the pandemic, and now some are dealing with even more hardship after riots over the weekend. We're joined once again this morning by Brian Calley. He's president of the Small Business Association of Michigan. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, Meredith. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Absolutely. And Brian, you are actually joining us live from Lansing this morning, where you're spending time doing some cleanup after some protests turned violent there, correct?
Yeah, right downtown Lansing. So that's where my office is, where the Small Business Association of Michigan is. And while that was one street over from a lot of the damage, there's a lot of small businesses got their windows smashed in last night, and it's important that we pull together and support them. I mean, their life is hard enough as it is right now, and they certainly didn't need indiscriminate violence headed their way.
Brian, that was my first question for you. I'm sure you saw a video of something similar that happened in Grand Rapids Saturday into Sunday with the riots that we had downtown. And you've just hit the nail on the head in your terms of referencing these small businesses that are already struggling. What was your reaction to what you saw over the weekend, what you're dealing with now this morning?
Well, it's really heartbreaking. The idea that the people would see the need or take out their frustrations on small business owners that are already really facing such steep odds to recover. But small business owners, it was pretty amazing, especially there in Grand Rapids. What we saw yesterday morning, they got hit, and then the next day they're out helping everybody clean up the community because that's their home too. It's not just their business; it's their home.
Absolutely. Now, Brian, we saw the governor lift certain restrictions in mid-Michigan after that massive flood, of course, in Midland, allowing restaurants and others to open up to ease the hardships felt in those communities. Do you think that that's something that she'd consider doing for Grand Rapids and other communities affected by rioting?
I sure hope so. But frankly, the numbers across the state justify it anyway. I closed out last week hoping that the governor was going to open up at least as much as she did in the north across the entire rest of the state this week. But now with these types of problems, it's even that much more important.
Now, Brian, another round of federal stimulus, as you know, is in the works, but it is moving very slowly. How needed is that extra funding, extra federal relief right now for Michigan businesses, would you say?
Well, I don't know how much of the extra funding that is coming in the next round is going to go for businesses. The main thing that businesses need right now is the ability to open up. I mean, it's got to be able to go out there and start doing what they do, running their businesses and making things happen in their communities. So, the federal support is good, but there's no substitute from being allowed to operate in the first place.
Brian, we can hear that cleanup going on behind you. We want to thank you for what you're doing this morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. We'll look forward to speaking with you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.